Dave Chappelle was attacked on stage by a man, a wannabe rapper named Isaiah Lee. This guy had the wildest of weapons, completely impractical. It was a knife that the handle looked like a gun. So it wasn't that he had a gun, a replica gun, as was reported, and a knife. It was a knife where the handle looked like a gun and the blade came out of where the barrel is supposed to be. What a random weapon, first of all. Second of all, he has had the charges dropped. The district attorney's office in California determined, or in LA, determined that there would be no felony charge against him because there wasn't enough evidence. Wasn't enough evidence. It was caught on film. And then CNN decided to say the alleged perpetrator. There's nothing alleged about it. It happened. He did it. That's not a question. It's not a debate. There is nothing alleged about it. It's just like when people were saying Dylan Roof was the alleged shooter. No. I hate it when the media says that word. It's like, oh, well, the alleged perpetrator. There's nothing alleged about this. The guy was caught on camera. He physically assaulted a man, Dave Chappelle. Okay, but it doesn't matter if it was Dave Chappelle. It could have been some non-famous person, someone who is not popular or well-known to the public. It doesn't matter. But he attacked a man on stage in front of everyone, in full view. I mean, at least he waited until his set was done. But I'm telling you, our society is not too tough on crime. Our society is too lenient. That's the problem. It's not that we aren't forgiving enough, or that we're too focused on punishing bad people who do bad things. It's that we're far too lenient. It's that we're too permissive. I'm so sick and tired of it, especially considering the fact that this guy is attacking a person for saying something. There's more people online right now angry about Dave Chappelle's joke that it was a trans man who attacked him, which it's not a trans person that attacked him, and Dave knows that. But he's just making a joke that because he has had bouts with the T in the LGBT community before, it must have been a trans man that came after him and that tried to tackle him. And I say try because the tackling attempt was poor. He did knock Chappelle to the ground, but it wasn't a very good tackle. But man, the fact that you can assault someone with a weapon and then not get charged for physical assault with a deadly weapon because there wasn't enough evidence, despite the fact that there are numerous shots. There's multiple different angles of footage for this event because, hello, it was a giant event with tens of thousands of people in view, watching, attending. The fact that he can get away with that, I mean, that's just, it's incredible. And technically I don't think he's getting away with it. It's going to be labeled a misdemeanor. That is my understanding. I could be wrong. But it's not going to be determined as a felony, which it most certainly is. But I'm telling you, California, man, California is messed up with all of the homeless people and all of the looting and the people going in and robbing stores and security guards just standing there like useless idiots. I mean, what are you even good for? What are you there for? What are you being paid to do if not to prevent thieves and robbers? California, you need to get your shit together. America needs to get its shit together, but California needs to get its shit together. And at this point, California shouldn't even be considered a part of America. It is its own thing. It is its own country. I mean, if it was its own country, it would have the 5th largest economy in the world. Somehow. I have no idea. I guess because of Silicon Valley. I don't know. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people thinking that it is appropriate to assault others because they don't like what somebody said, especially if their job is literally to say things. That's what Dave Chappelle gets paid to do, is say shit, and for people to listen because they enjoy the stuff that he says. We need to hold these people accountable. We need to hold these idiots accountable. Because if we don't, it sets a terrible precedent, and that precedent is already being set. It's that it matters far more. It's far more troublesome and dangerous, quote unquote, to say negative things about trans people than it is for actual physical violence to be done to another person because you don't like their speech. That is unacceptable. That is absolutely incomprehensible in a free society that is permitted. I'm telling you. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few years, but something's going to happen, and we're already starting to see a shift. The bill, the quote-unquote don't say gay bill, which is the parental rights bill in Florida, even the majority of Democrats polled supported the bill. So I think we're seeing a turn. I think there's going to be a red wave in the midterms. For some of you, you might really like that idea, but just think of the consequences of that. There's probably going to be quite a bit of programs cut because of that. So congratulations, Democrats. You went out of your way to make yourselves look like the idiots, which I guess you didn't work that hard to do so, because it's not that hard. I mean, you guys put a trans woman, it always confuses me. They put a trans person in charge of the Department of Health, for crying out loud. I feel like someone who isn't even mentally healthy themselves should not be in charge of the Department of Health. That just seems antithetical to reason. It doesn't seem very reasonable. But there's just so much wrong with this administration. All the people who were saying that Biden was going to be an improvement over Trump, I think we've all seen now that is absolutely not the case. The guy can't go 5 seconds without saying something stupid. In fact, half of the stuff that Biden says isn't actually words. It's just gobbledygook. But this is who was elected, supposedly. Apparently. I don't know how. I have no idea how he was elected, but he was. And now we have to live with it for another 2 years. And then who knows what happens after that. And then, of course, there was the sister location of the Amazon warehouse in New York, which lost its unionization effort. And there was a labor relations board meeting that Christian Smalls, the Amazon labor representative, was speaking at, and he was speaking to Lindsey Graham Cracker, that was a terrible joke, about how this isn't a Democrat or Republican issue, this is a workers' issue. The Labor Relations Board was about how, or the meeting with the board was about how Amazon has been suppressing unionization efforts and has been targeting organizers and purposefully gone out of its way to stop workers from unionizing, which is supposed to be against the law in New York because it's not a right to work state, which there should be no right to work states, but whatever. Anyway, the labor relations board voted it down overwhelmingly. It was like 87-6. 87 senators to 6 voted against any kind of federal punitive measures. Let's just think about this. Representatives of our government who get paid in our tax dollars, who then give government contracts to Amazon, again, contracts that are with our tax money, to Amazon, which then uses that to suppress us, our rights, our ability to unionize, our ability to collectively bargain. And then when we, the people, decide, hey, Labor Relations Board, hey, senators, maybe don't let Amazon get away with this. And then the senators just say, nah, we're going to let them get away with it. Who cares? This is why there's not any trust in government. This is why. Is because they use our taxes. They live off of our taxes. They get health care, okay? Every member in government gets government health care paid for by our tax dollars. But then they refuse to give the American people health care provided by our tax dollars. And then they refuse to stop. They refuse to stop subsidizing these corporations that hurt American taxpayers. How is there a labor relations board in the first place where people who aren't even elected by labor itself is allowed to control what happens in discussion between laborers and employers? That just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't even barely speak, man. It's so aggravating. It's so agitating and perplexing. But this has to stop. But it won't. It won't. Not until people stand up and take control. We cannot rely on the government to help us. We have to help ourselves. We have to help each other. Workers have to unite. This country was built by worker solidarity. It was built on family values. I don't think you can separate those things. The conservatives are right that the importance of the family is the bedrock of society. But the labor activist left, not the woke left, the labor activist left, is right that it was unionization which helped formulate the middle class, which helped ensure that you could live the American dream, that a man could live off of his work and support his family. But we can't do that anymore. That's gone. I don't know when it will return or if it ever will, but it's long gone. And both parties are responsible. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want to listen to me rant more. Peace out.